So we'll start again. So I'm always saying that when we do Sukhasana, the point of the posture is not to cross the ankles and let the knees release. Not that there's anything wrong with that, but that's not the point of Sukhasana. The point of Sukhasana is to cross at the shins so that the knees are quite narrow. Now that might mean the knees go higher. That's okay. What we're going to do is we're going to work on a bit of spinal stability. So this lovely strap, if you've got it, is going to wrap around the back of the sacrum, so slightly lower than the waist. And then it's going to wrap around the fronts of the knees, almost, excuse me, where the shins meet the knees. Can you see that? So I've wrapped it around and then I've tightened it up. So it's actually drawing my legs together. My feet are flexed. You'll be noticing that my knees are not as wide as they were previously. They are in a much narrower position. So if you haven't got a strap, just see if you can bring yourself into a Sukhasana position, feet flexed, legs quite narrow. So I'll give you a few moments just to sort that out. In fact, I'm just going to check on you, see if anybody's looking at me with anguish. No, you're not. That's good. You're not looking at me with any anguish. So the point of this movement is to allow your spine release. So I'm just going to set myself up again whilst you have a little look at me here. So the more stability I can bring into my pelvis, the more I can release my hips, and the more my spine can move very naturally out of my pelvis. So I'm just going to see if I can display that with a little bit of movement into the neck. So to give you a little bit of time here in this Sukhasana position, I just want you to breathe in, and as you exhale, turn the head to the right. I'll move as much as I can. Breathing in, slide the head back to the center. And as you exhale, turn the head to the left. I'll do that one more set. So you're going to lengthen up through the crown of the head. You're going to turn the head to the right, back to the center, and then over to the left. Now keeping this support, so we've just wrapped our straps around the back of the sacrum, the fronts of the knees. On this final set, I want you to turn the head to the right and just have a little peek at what you can see over the right shoulder. So just checking out your neck mobility within this posture. And then breathing in, sliding back to the center. Take your right arm and place it with the back of the wrist facing the face, and then pick up the back of the right wrist with the left hand. Most of you have done this with me before, the magic neck stretch. So you're going to be gazing up into the back of the left hand. You're going to activate the elbows. Now, this is kind of the first part of activation. So we're going to be doing lots of activation moves tonight. You're pressing the elbows away from each other so that you almost imagine that your right arm is wanting to move to the right, but the left hand's stopping it. And that just creates this release in the neck, this softening in the shoulders, and this natural extension through the spine. Good, we're holding that for a little bit longer than we would normally. And then you're going to release the arms, place the backs of the hands onto the legs. And as you exhale, just check again over the right shoulder, just noticing how it feels after bringing in that just release of the muscles of the neck. And then breathe in, release the head back to center. Let's try the same thing to the left. So as you exhale, turn the head to the left, just check out what you can see. Now this particular movement really is not working directly on the neck, but on the muscles that support the spine in the neck area. Once you've checked it out, slide the head back to the center. Place your left arm into that magical position, shielding the face from the sun. Back of the hand faces the forehead. Pick up the left wrist with the right hand, and then activate the elbows out to the side. So there's a slight gaze up. My hands are probably just slightly above the line of my crown of the head. But I'm getting to this position where I'm really reaching out with my elbows, so that as I activate the muscles of the spine and the muscles of the neck and shoulders, hopefully it can release in the neck a little bit. And we want to be holding this for around about 20 seconds with that activation to get some good results. And then from there, releasing the arms, bringing the backs of the hands to the floor. And as you exhale, just checking out that rotation to the left. Hopefully you've got a little bit more movement there. You're breathing in, sliding back to the center. And then from there, we're adding into this even more, clasping the hands, pressing the palms forward, and then lifting the arms up to the sky, palms facing upwards. Dropping the shoulders, again, feeling that length through the crown of the head. And then as you exhale, not just turning from the neck, but turning from the middle body, the ribs and the neck to the right, as you bring the left arm outside of the right leg and swivel around. And again, because the pelvis is stable, you may feel that that moves a little bit more. Breathing in, we'll turn back to the middle, take that movement to the other side. Now this time you can maybe just do a little rounding in the back as you press the palms forward, and then as you inhale, reach the arms up, lengthening through the side ribs, dropping the shoulders. And as you exhale, turning the ribs to the right, taking the left arm outside of the right leg, and creating that wonderful movement. So it's a twist, not just in the ribs, but also into the shoulders, dropping the shoulder blades down the back. And then inhaling, release back to center. Now, so the other leg doesn't feel left out, just check which leg you've got in front. Give the legs a little shake out. And then we'll change so the other leg's in front. Obviously, if Sukhasana is not the position for you, you're struggling with that, all these positions can be done with the legs just in full extension. And then all we're going to do here is just add in a little side movement. So I'm just going to pop my right hand down to the floor. I'm going to turn a little bit, ribs to the left, and then I'm going to take that lovely side stretch. Maybe even gazing in to my inner left arm. But try not to roll forward. So if anything, feel as though you're slightly drawing back into the back of the body. And then breathing in. Ease back to the center. Let's change sides. Keep pressing those legs into that strap if you're using it, so it stays nice and taut. Feel as though you can almost lift out of it. And this freedom it's bringing you. And then as you inhale, you're going to release back to the center, and then one last move in this position, clasping the hands behind the head, pressing the head back into the hands, the chin to the back of the throat, and then moving the hands away from the head and drawing some big circles behind the head. And seeing if you can keep the head in the same position. There'll be a really inclination to move it forward to get the hands in. And then circle in the opposite direction. This is good. So from this position, we're easing down with the hands. We're going to take the legs out and extend them. Now, I'm going to get you to come back to lie on the mat. But you could potentially just leave the strap there, or you could take it out. We will be using it again. Actually, take it out. We can easily put it back in from there. So as you come to slide down on the mat, I'm just going to change my little view of you. Taking the arms up behind you. You might feel this little bit of tightness just at the top of the thighs where you've, had that connection with the strap. So just from there, just take the arms away up and above the head, and then just take a little bit of your climb in the ladder position. So that's reaching all the way through your left side, fingers and toes, and then all the way through the right side. So we're going to do a couple of osteopath movements. One without the strap and then one with the strap. So that the next time you reach into your left side, you'll feel the right side start to shorten. So you're going to slide that right heel up towards the sit bone, level the pelvis, and then slide the right knee into the chest. Now, do you remember last week, we popped the hands in between the shin and the thigh and used the squeeze in of the fingertips to release the thigh to the chest. I want you to do that again this week. And then from there, pop that right foot onto the left thigh. If you can't reach the thigh, take it onto the shin, sliding the arms up to shoulder height. And as you exhale, remember you can dig that left heel into the floor. You turn it to twist to the left, tucking the left hip under for that lovely version of osteopath twist. Now from there, I'm just going to get you to activate into the leg a little bit. So from this position, foot onto thigh, as you inhale, you're going to try and extend that right leg, kicking it out to the right. Exhaling, bending the knee, bringing the foot to the thigh. Inhale, kick the leg. Exhale, bend the knee, foot to thigh. One more time. Releasing back to the center. And then from there, sliding all the way back onto your back. And just taking, if you're okay, now if you've got a back issue, what I'd suggest is you put the left foot on the floor, semi-supine. If your back's okay, dig the left heel into the floor and just extend the right heel to the ceiling. And then from there, slide both knees into the chest. Think about drawing both fingertips between the backs of the shins and the back of the knee, squeezing the fingertips between the legs, and then changing sides. So the left knee stays at the chest, the right leg extends. Remember, you can keep a little bit of softness in that right knee. And then you're going to pop the left foot onto the right thigh, slide the left arm out in line with the shoulder, and twist over to the right. Osteopath twist in the opposite direction. That's it. Now, from there, you're going to add on your little kicks. So kicking that right leg. And then exhaling, bringing the knee back to the chest. That's it. Just being aware of that extension into the outer hip, that warming up of the outer hip. And then as you slide back to the center, keep that right leg semi-extended and just extend the left heel to the ceiling. Then from there, ease both knees back to the chest, and we're going to add in the strap at this point. So I'm just going to roll over. It's a very similar positioning to what we did in seated. So you're going to take the strap behind your sacrum. And then you're going to begin with the right leg towards the chest. Now this time, we're going to pop the right foot onto the left thigh or shin, and then we're going to just strap it in. So you're strapping around the front of where the kneecap meets the shin, if you like. So that now we're going to prevent the back helping the movement. So you've got to move in one foul swoop, really. So once I've got it nice and tight, I'm going to slide my arms up to the side. And then it's going to have to be one holistic movement over to the left, pressing the front of the shin into the strap and then peeling over. And at any point, feeling free to take that strap into a bit more tautness. Now, I've had some good results with this, so I wonder if it's the same for you guys. What you'll find potentially is that you can twist a little bit more through the hips. And then from there, as you circle the right arm across the body into that clock face, remember we did this last week. So it's going out to the side, it's going towards the foot, let's call that 6, out to the left is 9, up above alongside of the ear is 12, and out to the right is 3. So just do that one more time. And then as the arm starts to move from 12 to 6, just bend the left heel towards the bottom and see if you can pick up the foot. Now, interestingly, with the strap on, that sounds a bit bad, doesn't it? But using the strap, I can reach for the ankle. Usually I can only reach for the toe. So I wonder if anybody else finds that's a little bit more connected. So actually it's made me think that the more rotation you get, the easier it is to do the thigh, the quad stretch. And then from there, you're going to release out. Well done. Slide back onto your back. Now we're going to use a little bit of PNF here. So rather than undo the strap straight away, release the foot from the thigh. Make sure you're fully onto your spine. And then move the strap so it's a little bit further down the shin. So this time I want you to press the shin into the strap, almost so it's slightly drawing your waist off the floor, very slightly. So if you've not got the strap to be able to do this with, don't worry. You can just do a little rock in the pelvis. So sliding the knee to the chest on the exhale and then rolling it away through feminine on the inhale. So it's a little just rock of the pelvis. What we're doing is we're activating some of the muscles here around the back that we don't always use. And then I wonder, after you've held that and pressed the shin into the strap for around about 8 seconds while I'm chatting here, perhaps as you slide the hands in behind the knee, squeeze the fingers between the knee and the thigh. I'm wondering if you can get a little bit more release, whether you can get that leg a little bit closer to the chest. I know that I It works for me, so I'm hoping it works for you without any activation at the front of the hip flexor. And you can just pop in a little ankle circle while you're there. Or you could even, after your ankle circles, see if you can knit the rib cage together, and without any strain in the neck, allow your upper body to lift up to start to bring the knee to the nose, or the nose to the knee. And then release. Well done. Okay, you're gonna have to unlock a little bit with the strap so that you can change legs. So I'm extending through my right leg and popping the left foot onto the right thigh, and then I'm activating the strap around the front of the shin, just below the knee. Just so it's holding that position in place without me having to do anything, because I'm still pressing into the strap. And I'm going to take the hands up to shoulder height. I'm going to turn and twist to the right. Tuck that right hip under that one foul movement, because you've got the body tied together. Again, at any point, feeling free to make the strap a bit more taut. And then when ready, just ease into those circles with the left arm this time, out to the left, up, sorry, well, it doesn't matter which way you go, up and over to the ear, then to the right, then to the foot, circling the arm around. So that the next time you move from 12 towards 6, you can start to bend into the right leg and see if you can pick up the right foot. Deep breaths. You're going to feel this potentially in your outer left buttock, outer left hip joint. And then from there, just release that bottom leg. Final movement, if you've got the strap, is to slide it a little bit further down the shin. Extend the right leg and press the left shin into the strap. Remember, if you haven't got the strap, you're just going to rock the knee forward and back. Now, when I say activate, I probably would like about 70 to 80% effort with pressing the shin into the strap. And then after about 8 seconds, you're going to slide your hands in behind the left knee, squeeze the fingertips, and allow. This is a kind of yoga does you position. Allow the knee or the thigh to be floated into the chest. You can circle the ankle. And in the opposite direction. And you could even attempt to knit the ribcage together as you breathe out. And just feel that you can ease the nose towards the knee. And then from there, we're done with the strap for a few moments. So open it up a little bit. Slide it off. And if you want to take a little rock from side to side, please feel free to do that. Before rocking over to the side and easing yourself up onto all fours. Now, using these movements has various interesting effects. So the first one I'm hoping that you might feel when you come onto all fours is that maybe your middle body will feel long. Or maybe it's just me dreaming that I might grow a little bit, height-wise. So I wonder from here if you can really enjoy the length and the release of the spine by breathing in, sending the top chest, even the nipples, if you will, forward. So shoulder blades slide down the back. And then as you breathe out, chin to chest, knit the ribs, lift the lower belly. Hold it there for an extra breath. And then the next time you exhale, slide the bottom to the heels and release the forehead on the floor, or as close as you can. Now remember, when we're doing this roll in the marble position, you should always take the elbows off the floor to move the body. So imagine you're rolling a marble or a ball with the nose. Elbows come off the floor, they're extending out to the side. You're moving the chest along the floor. And then when the ears reach the thumbs, you're going to slide the elbows into the side ribs. And then there's this wonderful propelling forward of the top chest. Okay, I want you to do that twice more. So take that angry cat position, chin to chest, feel that extension through the back, head and neck release. Extra breath, so that as you exhale, you can bring the bottom to the heels and release the forehead to the floor. And then on the inhale, it's that imaginary chest skimming along the floor. And then drawing the elbows in to propel the top chest forward. Gorgeous. Okay, one more time. Lovely job. Now as you come into this position, this kind of neutral position, what I'm going to ask you to do is just take that lovely angry cat position, and then from there, slide the left toes along the floor, drawing the knee towards the nose again, but then flicking over the toes and stretching back into Atlas position, reaching through the heel to the floor. And then I'm actually going to reach my hands forward off the floor. So I'm really stretching out that middle back. And then from there, I'm going to step that left foot through and take a little bit of crescent lunge, inviting weight into the ball of the left foot. Lifting with the pelvic floor and just making sure that the left knee is at least in line with the left ankle. I'm then going to bring the hands inside of the left foot. Sorry, I'm not facing this way, the right way. So my hands are coming inside of the left foot. Now at the moment, can you see, I'm slightly rounded in the back. My bottom's in the air a little bit. What I'm going to try and do is lengthen forward so that I'm flattening out my back, bending the elbows and lengthening through the crown of the head, like a little gecko movement. I'm just going to hold that for a couple of breaths. My left knee is coming to touch the left shoulder. And then I'm going to take my hands either side of the left foot and step back into downward facing dog. Now in my downward facing dog, whether you hold it or whether you walk in the dog, I don't mind. But I want you to try and see if you can release the spine enough to allow the head and neck to be relaxed. So you're not looking at the hands at the moment. You're softening the knees and you're reaching into the palms to extend the spine. And then from there, you're dropping the knees down to the floor. You're taking it back to cat because you're going to do the right side. Extending into angry cat, sliding the right knee to the nose. Flicking over the toes, stretching back through the foot. And then lifting the arms off the floor. Reaching out, fingertips, palms down, step the right foot forward. Invite the weight into the ball of the right foot and then lift up into crescent lunge. Lovely job. Good. Okay, from there, as you release out of crescent lunge, you're going to bring the hands down inside of the right foot, lengthening the crown of the head forward, and just trying to feel that release into the hips. Just holding that for a few moments. And then that's going to take us hands either side of the foot, back into down facing dog, softening the knees, releasing through the body, deep breaths. And then from there, walking the feet forward towards the hands, Ardha Uttanasana, flattening the back, and then full Uttanasana, that's the forward fold position, head to shin. And then breathing in, swoop the arms away behind you, up and out to the side, and then ending up, palms released overhead. I'm just going to change my camera angle, put some lights on. You're going to stand in Tadasana at the front of your mat. I'm just going to bring a few dragons in. So here I am at the front of my mat. I'm going to roll my shoulder blades back and down. I'm going to get you to start to feel, imagine that you've got the strap around the legs so that you're activating the legs. I've just lifted my toes up just for a few moments, which will just lift a little bit up for the front of the thighs. And then as I release my toes back down, keeping that length all the way up for the crown of my head. From here, I'm just going to balance on my right leg. I'm going to lift up my lovely dragon's arms or wings and my left leg. So from there, I'm going to slide my hands into the prayer position, draw them in front of the heart, and extend that left leg out into that warrior three position, reaching through the heel, lengthening the back body. Now, as I stride that left leg to the floor, I'm going to come into high standing lunge. So I'm lifting up through the top chest. You know this really well. We've done it lots of times. From this position, you're going to spin around on the ball of the back foot and take the right arm forward and the left arm back. So it's always opposite arm to leg. You're then going to shield your face from the dragon as you come across the middle and then change ends. Go to the opposite end. That's it. Now you're going to do one more. Shield your face from the dragon. Turn and twist. This is me with my left knee bent and my right arm forward. Now, for me, it's going to be nice and easy for me to face you, opening out into a wide leg standing position. If you're not facing me, just hop around on your mat so that you are. So we're going to bring a little bit of elephant into our dragon position. Yeah, dragon meets the elephant today. So, feet parallel, and you know, again, I'm always having this a bit of a nag about this. So if I turn my toes slightly in, it does something into my inner thigh groin area, which gives me that little lift here. So just being aware of that, the reason why we're doing that is to activate outer and inner thighs. From here, you're going to breathe in, lengthen through the front body, and as you exhale, you're going to hinge forward. Now, if you can keep the legs extended, that would be great. And then maybe just having the fingertips on the floor. If the fingertips don't reach the floor, perhaps use a brick or a block to support them up. Now from this position, we're going to take a bit of elephant. So I'm going to mirror you. So if you take both of your feet and turn them to the right, and then bring your right fingertips to the floor, slide the left arm out in line with the shoulder, and then twist to the left. Shoulder blades slide down the back, lengthen through the crown of the head, and feel that lovely lift into the inner right thigh. Might feel it on the left as well, but predominantly the right. Brilliant. Let's change sides. So bringing the left hand down, turn both feet to the left, slide the right arm out in line with the shoulder, and then spin around with the ribs to the right. Again, trying to keep those legs as active as you can. Releasing out. Now I'm actually going to get you to bring the feet back to parallel and then to turn the heels in. Now this will remind you, as soon as you turn the heels in, we've got a whole different muscular movement in the body and the legs. So I've now got my feet turned up to 10 to 2. I'm going to breathe in, going to lift my arms up overhead, stretch my arms, stretch my legs. In fact, I could even hold my elbows. And then as I breathe out, I'm really going to have to activate the outer edges of my feet as I sink into, sometimes called goddess, sometimes called horse. And then I'm going to lift up again, using my feet to power through, holding the elbows, and then feeling that weight invited to the edge of the feet. So I'm not rolling in, that would be the insides of my feet. I'm rolling out. Okay, take one more time. And then from here, just hold that movement. So just feel that you can allow this kind of extension into the outsides of the feet, which again is just going to really activate inner and outer thighs in a different way. Good. Lovely horse. Okay, from there, I'm going to turn around to the side of my mat just for ease of demonstration. Basically, I want you to end up balancing on your left foot with your right knee lifted, like dragon. So you're going to spin around, any side of the mat will do. Come onto your left foot, lift the right leg and your dragon's wings. From there, bring the hands to the heart. Extend the right leg away behind you, flattening the back. Feel that length in the spine, flexed foot. And then stride the right leg to the floor, lift into that top chest. So you're doing 3 movements, changing edges of the mat. So spin around for 1, shield your face from the sun, spin around, or the dragon for 2, or both, shield your face. And for 3, beautiful. Spin round to the middle again. If you're not facing me, just spin around so that you are. Remember, the feet are in this 10 to 2, so I would call it parallel. Sorry, they're not in 10 to 2, they're in parallel. And slightly overdone. So slightly pull the toes in a little bit more. And then from there, inhale, lengthen through the spine, lift the front of the body, and as you exhale, hinging forward. Fingertips to the floor, flattening the back. Okay, this time we'll take it in the opposite direction. So we'll turn the feet to the left first. Left hand down, right arm extends to the side, turn and twist. Lovely. And then changing sides. You might find one side feels better than the other, which is why I keep trying to change. And then from there, release the hands back to the middle, bend the knees and turn the heels into 10 to 2. Now, even before you come to stand up, try and shift some of your weight into the little toe side of the foot so that the insteps become a little bit more prominent, and then lift all the way upwards. Taking hold of the elbows, exhale into horse or goddess, inhale to lift. We'll do a few of these, just as little counter poses. Just to warm you up really, because it's very static practice. Good, and then the next time you come into your bent knee position, just stay with it, soften into the shoulders. Now, the more that you invite weight into the outside edge of the feet, potentially, the more you can sit into your hips. But you're not collapsing, there's still a lot of potential core being accessed in that position. And I kind of want, you should be feeling this. If you're not feeling it, you're probably not activating that core and legs. Yeah. So if you're screaming at me, that's good. Soften the shoulders though. Okay, well done, breathing in. Sweep the arms up. And then from there, just sail us down, back to the center and give the legs a little bit of a shake out. So I'm trying to get you to think about how we can access through feet and legs to release the spine. So I'm going to just take you from here into a kind of, I don't know, I want you to come onto the balls of the feet first. Now we've done this on blocks before, we're just doing it without blocks tonight. So I'm balancing on the balls of my feet as best as I can. And I just want you to hold it there, even if you have to hold onto a wall or something, to feel how, when you do that, the fronts of the quads lift. Spine can free from the pelvis. That's it. And then, I don't know, I'm going to get you to take one heel down at a time. So just lower one heel. And then lift back up again. And then lower the other heel. And then both heels together. Now, alternatively, if we lift the feet or lift the toes, without obviously don't want it to fall over, lift the toes and as much of the ball of the feet as you can without falling over, what you're going to get is activation, not just at the back of the legs, but also here into the base of the spine and the glutes. And this kind of links into what we're doing with our hamstring stretches. Okay, so I'm going to roll my feet down. I'm going to bring my chin to my chest. I'm going to bend my knees. And I'm going to slide all the way down, leading with the head, in a roll down position to bring the hands to the floor and then come on to all fours again. Now, because this links a little bit, what we're going to do with the straps links a little bit with sciatic movement. I'm just going to start with another sciatic movement, which is actually this Superman position. So from here, I'm going to get you just to tuck your right toes under, slide the right leg along the floor. Now, I want you to reach through the heel until you feel activation in the front and the back of the legs. And then I want you to lift the lower belly and allow that to float the leg up towards, well, not towards the sky, into a 90-degree position. And then from here, extend that left arm along the floor and then reach through the left fingertips to feel that you're maintaining extension through the right heel and activation through the left fingertips. Well done. From there, bring the left arm and then the right toes to the floor and slide the right knee. Okay, just take a moment just to let the body release itself and then change sides. So slide the left toes along the floor. Now don't just lift the legs. There's a temptation here just to lift the leg. Don't want you to do that. I want you to feel that you can reach through the heel, lift this lower belly, and the support from the lower belly will allow the leg to float up behind you. Once you've done that, then maybe take that opposite arm out. So a little bit of a variation on the theme. Holding it there. Keep that extension, that activation through the heel. Good. Lovely. And then releasing back down. Just complete that little section into a bit of angry cat, drawing the bottom to the heels, and then just either polar bear or child pose. Just releasing the forehead either onto the fists or onto the forehead. So just for a second or two, because we do want to move into these lovely hamstring movements. Now, having done these for a while, like this, and we're going to be very specific how we're going to do them. So I'm going to get you to come back onto your back. Now, I actually said to you about bringing a cushion tonight or something to lay your head on. So that's what I've got here. The reason why that is because very often if we're lengthening the muscles of the back and the muscles of the legs, what happens is that corresponding movement of skin and tissue tends to pull the head back. And that's just normal. So, you know, nothing to worry about, but it just means if you've got the head on support, it's a little bit more comfy. So you can either just use your strap like we normally use it, like just one hand on each edge. Or if you've still got a loop in there, keep the loop and we're going to slide the loop around the foot. So I'm going to ease you down to semi-supine with your head on a little bit of support. I don't want any sleeping, it's not that time yet. Just notice where you're at with your back, with your body. And then I just want you to slide the right knee into the chest and just slip the bell somewhere as close around the heel as you can. Now, instead of taking the heel straight to the sky, we're going to take the heel of the right foot along the floor. Scrape it along the floor into extension, and you'll know then that you've got a straight leg. And then you're going to walk the hands up your strap as you slide that straight leg towards the ceiling. Okay, so we've done this in pairs before. It's much more effective in pairs, but obviously you haven't got anybody where you are now. So we're going to have to try and use activation of the heel into the strap. So what I'm going to get you to do is to really flex the right foot and use between 70 and 80% effort to press the heel actively into the strap. Now really almost fatigue the muscle. At the same time as you're pressing the heel into the strap, I want you to soften, release into the hip. If that's impossible, don't worry, because you'll have a chance to do it again in a minute. So I want to do this for about between 10 and 20 seconds. Now, when I tell you to stop, you're going to keep the leg straight, but you're going to take about 20% of effort off. So if you're working at 80% now, you're going to reduce it to 60 or 50%. Okay, so now do that. So release a little bit. Now, as you release there, I want you to feel that you can soften at the front of the hip. So this area here at the front of the hip, and then just gently see if you can release the leg a little bit closer to the body. Now, we're not, auditioning for the corps de ballet, so don't worry if it's nowhere near leg to chest. Okay, we're going to do that again. We're going to press, 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 heel into strap. Deep breaths, very active. Almost feeling that you're lifting slightly, not much, but lifting slightly out of the hips. Keep pressing, should be 80%. And then from there, release to 60%, but you're not bending the knee, and then just try and soften into the hip. And that softening into the hip will potentially be more important than the activity of the leg, potentially. Good. Okay, from here, I'm going to get you to take the strap into your left hand. So this is a very specific sciatica move, or move to prevent sciatica. From here, you're going to slide the toes towards the left shoulder. So it's almost like you're taking the leg and you're rotating the leg in the hip joint towards the midline. They're going to feel lots of activity, back of the knee, outer thigh maybe. And for some of you, you'll be able to not just turn the leg, but maybe invite the leg towards the left shoulder. Still with a flexed foot if you can. Keep reaching up into the heel. The activity is important. Okay, I'm going to hold that for another 2 or 3 breaths. And then after those 2 to 3 breaths, you're going to inhale, release the leg back to its kind of neutral position, still in extension. Take the strap back into your right hand, or the edge of the strap in your right hand, and place your left hand onto the left hip. Now, from here, I know what you'd love to do is take the leg out to the right in line with the hip, but that's not what we're doing, unfortunately. We're going to turn the foot again, but this time we're turning it so the toes are reaching over the right shoulder. So you can have a little bit of release to the right this time, and then start to invite the right leg somewhere to the right of the right shoulder, rather than in line with the hip. So it's quite high over the shoulder rather than out to the side, if that makes sense. And again, you're maintaining this little bit of holding down the left hip so that you're keeping the left side inviting weight into the left foot. Again, I'm very active into my right and left heels. So almost create this gap. Now from here, I'm going to soften into the right knee, turn into the leg and place the right ankle outside of the front of the left thigh. So you know this position well. You can take the strap off at that point. You're into eye of the needle. And I wonder if, having done what we've done, you've got this sense of release at the front of the hip. And I wonder if at this point, you can have your brick handy, but could you take both legs over to the left and place the right foot to the floor with the knee in the air and go, oh yay, I've got all that space, all that sensation in my outer right hip and the front of the hip, of course. And again, remember, if you press, if you reach into the foot, that will really help. That stability. When I say reach into the foot, it's almost like you're using your hands to press, but you're using your feet. Good. Okay, breathing in, slide back to the center. From there, just so you can compare the legs, stretch both legs out. Just notice how different it feels right side to left. And then we'll repeat all those moves on the other side. So you're going to slide your right leg into semi-supine. You're going to bring the left knee into the chest and loop the belt around the left, or as close to the left heel as you can. Extend the left leg along the floor, so you know it's in extended, it's extended and straight. And then walk the hands up the strap, up the belt. So first movement, we're a bit more PNF, pressing into the heel of the left foot. 80% effort. Reach, 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 reach. Lengthen up the back of the leg. Soften into the hip. Breathe. Use your right foot as well. Reach into the right foot. And then I'm going to ask you to stop. You don't bend the knee. You just take 20% effort off, which you're going to do now. And see if you can invite the leg a little bit closer to the body. I'm going to do that one more time. 80% effort. You're going to feel muscle fatigue a little bit because you're asking a lot of the muscles of the legs. Excuse me. Not anything that's not often asked, but you know, there will be sensation there. Sometimes it helps me if I close my eyes and I really take my consciousness deep inside of me. And then from there, I'm going to take that 20% off and try and move the leg a little bit closer. I'm easing back to the center. I'm taking the strap in my right hand and I'm going to send my left toes and the whole of my left leg into an internal rotation where my left toes are pointing over my right shoulder. Very sciatic specific move, this one. And you know, a lot of the stuff we do in yoga is about stimulating the nervous system or de-stimulating it. because it's really important. We don't talk about it very much because it's hard to say, you know, access your central nervous system. That's just impossible. But you can access muscles, so you've got that vehicle. Okay, release the leg back to the center. Take the belt back into your left hand. Right hand on the right hip. Slight move out to the left, and then start to ease it just to the outside of the left shoulder. Perfect. Again, you can keep accessing into the heel of the left foot, into the right foot as well as your stability. Deep breaths. You know, I find that if I reach into my right foot, it actually brings a buoyancy to my pelvis and my left leg extends a little bit more. Well done. Okay, I'm going to bend into that left knee. Release the left ankle in front of the right shin. I'm going to remove the strap. Give it time to release at the front of the hip flexors, and then from there, peel over to the right. Reaching into the left foot. Remember, you can use a block or a brick to pop that left foot on. Well done. Wonderful. Okay, breathing in, slide back to the center. If you can bear not to bring the knees to the chest, if you need to, then of course do it. If you can just stay with semi-supine, that's going to help you in your final position if you choose to do it. So we're coming into our relaxation. So at this point, if you haven't got a strap that binds, I'll give you another alternative. We're going to do Supta Baddha Konasana. So the first alternative, without the strap, is to reach for a block or a brick, hop it between your feet, and activate the feet pressing into the brick. You know, lying down, with or without the cushion, it's up to you. That's option one. So both of the options are active feet. Option two is to take the big loop again, and this is an Iyengar yoga move, to wrap the loop again around your sacrum, inside the legs and around the feet. Now, I found that tall people and men sometimes struggle with one belt, need two belts. So if you're struggling with one belt, use the other alternative of having the block or the brick between your feet. Otherwise, whatever position you've chosen to do, you're going to lie down. So one clothes on, if you need them. The idea of this final position is that as you press the feet together, you can release into the tissues and the fascia in the legs, but also release the sacrum and the pelvis so that the spine can extend and open without all that contraction we cause it by standing and sitting. So whichever one of these positions you're doing, you're going to either be pressing the feet into the brick or the block, or you're going to be pressing the feet together and also pressing the outer hips and inner thighs into the strap. It's still around my sacrum. but it's just supporting the opening. Now, if you are using the strap, you might find that little by little you can tighten the belt. Or maybe not. So just as you would normally do in a meditation or relaxation, just feeling the sensations within the body. Noticing the breath. And then with as much care as you went in, release any supports. Just begin taking yourself into a little internal hip rotation, with or without a cushion between the knees. You've always got that option. And then either stay with this for the rest of your relaxation or gently release into Shavasana. Now what you might start to notice is just a change in the breath. So what we usually find is that when we've come out of this very lineal practice, that our breath follows that, and the breath moves very much up on the inhale, down on the exhale. And then as you spend a little bit of time in your relaxation position, the breath will start to normalize back to its natural progression through the body. You might even feel it start to reach into the corners of the body, the edges of the ribs. Or it may stay feeling as though it's being drawn upwards and then back down. So as you transit from your position of relaxation tonight, just start to gently deepen the breath. And then to begin to move, maybe gently rolling the head from side to side. Moving the fingers and the toes. And then eventually easing yourself into a lovely full body stretch. And then eventually drawing the knees to the chest and just rolling over onto your side. To ease yourself up into sitting. So as we always do, as we complete our practice, we just slide our arms up to the side to gather that energy around us, to gaze up to the thumbs. And then as we exhale, drawing the fingertips down to the third eye, to the lips and the throat, and to the heart. Well done. Namaste. So asking a lot of the legs tonight, a lot of the muscular activity, hoping you feel that you're a little bit more, I don't know, a little bit taller, a little bit spacious. Are we feeling that? Especially if you've been over a desk today, hopefully you'll be feeling a little bit more.
Lovely, thank you, Jules.
Okie dokie.
Thank you.
Lovely
Thank
to do
you.
those hamstrings. Thanks, guys. Nice to see you.
Steve.
It's lovely. Thank you, Jules.
Take care.
Bye.
Oh, I'll switch my recording off.
Still recording.